Good afternoon, grasshoppers. I wanted to touch base with you in terms of this week. It's Tuesday here and cold outside. We're going to have a freeze tonight and probably snow tomorrow. But I wanted to touch base with you on chapter 12, which you have going on this week, which is about lying. And a couple of things I just want to share with you. Once again, this chapter is pretty straightforward. Um, One of the questions I want you to, if you can, uh, try to keep in mind, when you're thinking about this chapter or whatever, is what is it that you actually do when you lie to someone. And I think in some instances we don't really think about that. And we go, well, it's just a little white lie, or it's just a bit of a distortion of the truth, or something of that nature. But what is it that you fundamentally do to someone when you lie to them? So let me cut to the quick, if I can, and share with you what many philosophers think. And that is when you lie to someone, you fundamentally rob them of the ability to make sound decisions premised on reality. And you don't have that prerogative. It's just totally immoral to steal from someone the ability to make sound decisions premised on what's real. So we lie to cover our rear ends, so to speak, and we lie to hide the truth because we fundamentally want to be duplicitous. We want our proverbial cake and eat it too. But in any event, uh, the that's one of the fundamental philosophical things and moral things that you do. um, on page 155 of your book, he does a good job of defining the concepts of lying, cheating, and breaking promises and stealing. And like I said, this chapter is fairly straightforward. So make sure that you're studying this the way you should. Um, the one of the things that comes to my mind is when we think about this issue of lying. um, I don't know that we genuinely take into consideration the seriousness of the consequences. um, when you lie to someone and they find out, you lose trust, and that gets to be a problem. And I'm having my coffee here. Um, so you lose trust on that issue. And one of the notions that does make sense. He says arguments for a line. Um, if you need to lie to protect yourself from life and death, serious bodily harm, things of that nature. Uh, that is a very different situation. Once again, let me reiterate for you that we need to put these moral constraints into the realm of the normal parameters for human behavior. And right now, for example, what's going on in our culture is COVID-19. And this has just absolutely turned everything upside down. And I just cannot share with you enough I think the problems that we're going to have, not just the problems that we have now, but what this is going to mean for us down the road. And I think I was just making a comment this afternoon that I have serious concern that these problems are going to go way into the summer. And you may find next fall seriously affected by this. Not to rain on anybody's parade or, generate undue concern, but it wouldn't surprise me. The governor of Michigan was just on TV today and shared that the stay at home sanction in Michigan is not going to be totally lifted April 1st, or at the end of April and May 1st. And there was indications that it's going to go on probably till at least mid-May, if not the end of May. So we could be stuck in the house for another month. And everybody is getting real excited about that, protesters and things of that nature. But 232 more people died in Michigan today because of this stuff. And this particular virus is seriously deadly. And so, do you want to stay home, or, you know, do you want to get in the ring with Godzilla and take your chances there? So, when we think about that in terms of lying, I raise up this example because we have those folks that are, just radically arguing we need to lift the sanctions. Fundamentally, they're lying to you. And those lies, they're getting people dead. The elements that are going on in Florida and Georgia today, for example, who lifted sanctions, but in Florida, let people go back on the beach and things of that nature. How many of those folks do you think are going to contract the, coronavirus and potentially have catastrophic consequences? And as I think some of the epidemiologists have said, it's not just about you. It's about the people in your family and potential friends who will be affected by you bringing that contagion into their environment, especially if you're elderly. So I just want you to see that the extensions of lying uh, are just genuinely very important and in some instances absolutely tragic. The One of the things that I wanted to bring to your attention is you have some assignments in your class folder this week on the genealogy of my morals. Uh, that particular professor is one that I really like, and I like this particular essay. Uh, so what he's doing is he's raising what's the genealogy of our morals and things of that. The parable of Hugh, in there is there, and I am a big fan of Hugh in this particular parable. I think it's existentially very important, and I think it reflects on, do you know yourself? And will you ever know yourself? And how many people out there never really get to know who they are? And I am of the opinion that that too is no accident. So the other notion that some of you have already turned in a little bit is Martin Niemöller. Martin Niemöller is a very important in terms of stepping up to the plate and probably helping defend or defending the weaker, the ultimately those that may not be able to defend in themselves. And I think that all of this comes down to something where we're headed in our class in terms of virtue ethics. And virtue ethics, of course, is about character. And I think that these particular assignments really raise a question for us in terms of what is your character? And I'm a great adherent of the idea that you always lead with your character. In fact, um, you can't hide that. So I think that these are all important. Okay, I don't want to drag this on too long. It's just not necessary. Um, you don't have to be a Rhodes Scholar to figure out it's very dangerous out there. Do us all a favor and stay at home as much as possible. If you have to go out, wear your mask, keep safe distance from folks. And if you do that, you stand to just a pretty darn good chance of just being healthy and not catching corona. I'm convinced of that. So there you go. Um, your assignments this week are due Sunday, and I will have another web video up for you for the following week's assignments and things of that nature. But mostly, I just wanted to touch base with you because, I mean, everything is just crazy right now. And we need to be confident in our intelligence. We need to be confident in our wisdom and how ethical we are so that we just do the right thing. That's ultimately, I think, what it comes down to. You just need to do the right thing. I'm going to be very honest with you. I see folks here in Grand Rapids, um, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know what you people are thinking about, but it certainly isn't your health. They're congregating, they're having parties, everybody's playing, and things of that nature. I just, quite frankly, am amazed. But in any event, I want you to take care of yourselves out there. Be careful, and let me know if you have any issues. Drop me an email. Talk to you soon.